Good afternoon. Happy to be here in India, back in India again. Minodes is a German-based company doing retail analytics. And I just want to give you in the next round about 10 minutes a quick overview of our understanding of the business and also what we do and how we believe that we gonna help all of you with the different answers to different questions. Because we are convinced that all of you know there's this famous saying, data is the new oil. Okay. We want to be the refinery because we are also convinced, especially when talking about retail, it's not that we are lacking in oil. There's a lot of oil, so meaning a lot of data. But the question is this data really properly used nowadays already? So therefore, we are convinced, and also some other players in the industry, that this data needs to be worked on, needs to be used, because it's not about technology, it's not about data, it's about so what's. It's about the learnings you can take out of the data, and you can initiate the changes and the necessary measures to improve your services. But because just having terabytes of data, might be that your IT department is happy to be able to book additional Amazon Web Service capacities, but that's not what it's all about. It's about making use of the data. So in a nutshell, and to make it a little bit easy to understand, we want to be, and according to our partners and our customers, we are perceived being the Google Analytics for the brick and mortar world, and also, especially in the US and in Europe, Criteo company supporting online players to do retargeting. So based on the online behavior to send out specific advertisements to the consumers, because we are combining that. We also believe that we can be Criteo for offline and brick and mortar world. Just let me guide you through a little bit through our basic understanding. It's not about starting just to get started. First of all, we are convinced that you need to understand. So understand the behavior of your consumers and not just believe, due to the fact that you are for years in the industry, that you know how today's consumers are behaving. We are all, I think, convinced that we are very smart, and that's true, but nevertheless, in the end, we need to understand the behavior. We need to also understand the fast-changing behavior of consumers. There are a lot of use cases, especially in Europe and also the US. We've been really very much surprised because we thought, okay, this campaign gonna be a failure, but nevertheless it's worth to try it out. And in the end, we realized, okay, especially younger consumers like that. So it was a success. We didn't anticipated that. So therefore, understanding whether things work out or not is crucial. And also, by having said that, the willingness to test, to trial is crucial, and we need, all being in the brick and mortar world, need to learn from e-commerce to make use of little tiny trials to understand better and to be willing to test out certain things. What we are doing and what the base for all of the things we are doing is this little smart device called smartphone. I think each and everybody of us has such a thing carrying all the day around. And for example, we have done a little test around here, and we've seen during the conference when especially this room is fully loaded, we have seen 180, 185 devices being in that room. Out of them, most of them, not that surprising, but 70, 75 devices are Apple, 60 to 65 are Samsung, and the rest are some BlackBerry, some some other device type. So we understood quite well what kind of audience we have here. And also you see, I think today total audience is around about 220, 230. So the capture rate in that very specific target group is very high using Wi-Fi technology, but also in general, also here in India with our customers, we are running our services. We've got capture rate of 60% plus, and therefore with a huge footfall, especially in Indian malls, it's more than valid to take that data to really believe that we can understand how people behave. So, and by doing that, we are able to show you how the paths in your mall, in your smart city are. And for example, the interesting thing in that example is, you see, is that working? No. But the basic idea was of the guys who did that people should follow here more on the lower end. The whole walk through that location. But in the end, we realized, luckily after 2 hours of that event, so they've been able to change that most people use we called it highway, so the straight way through, and they didn't follow the predicted and wished path through that location, so they've been able to change that. And added up that we're also able to show, okay, what are the hot spots, what are the cold spots in your location, leading also to the possibility to build certain correlations. So for example, within a visit in a mall, do they only visit fashion stores, several fashion stores, or do they go there to one fashion store, one supermarket, go also to the food court? How do they behave? And if you realize, oh, for example, there's a huge correlation between Marks and Spencer and the food court, why not to think about some kind of marketing cooperation in supporting even this? Or if it's a weak correlation, but you want to have that, you also can increase that. You can try it out, and by having the services and the services installed and up and running, we can show you after 1, 2, 3 days, whatever you want, whether the campaign works out in the way you wanted it, your brands wanted it, and therefore easy way to try out and to realize how customers behaved. Because understanding, as mentioned, is crucial and the first step, but by just understanding and doing the same stuff like the last 10 years, we don't improve. So therefore, the understanding is the prerequisite, and then we have to start and to launch certain measures, measure them, whether they work out, and if not, or if there's further room for improvement, then to optimize them. There's a huge variety of possibilities. You can realize measures within your malls, within your locations, offline, so it doesn't need to be technology driven, but also can be technology driven. You also can launch campaigns by sending out after their visit in a specific location via apps, via online, to specific targets group, certain banners, certain advertisement, and once again, you know whom you send that, and therefore you can track whether they reacted in the way you wanted them. So for example, I've been in a mall here in India, and I passed several times the H&M, but I didn't visit H&M. Now H&M wants to motivate myself to come in and sends me a banner. And if I go into the H&M 1, 2, 3 days, weeks, whatever later, visit it, then we can say, okay, due to that banner and due to that campaign, we converted this visitor or this person to a visitor of H&M. Same for you, so especially when talking about mall operators, there are additional revenue streams. Because, for example, the H&M is interested in these kind of campaigns. So due to the fact that this is new additional opportunity to launch campaigns, they are willing to pay also for these campaigns, and therefore you've got the possibility to generate additional revenues. And there's much more possible, talking about several technologies, but also talking about other things. In the end, only your imagination and your creativity is the limit in the end. But I think all of us have to get used to being creative and also being willing to try out some things, and also being or taking the risk to fail, but then to realize in a quick way that a certain campaign was a failure, and then to stop that. It's nothing bad to realize that a campaign wasn't a success, but it's bad to keep going with that campaign only due to the reason that we've decided to keep that or to run that for the next 3 months. So therefore, that's our understanding, to show you that it's not just talking about things without having kind of proven track record. We are, or we have captured so far worldwide 145 million unique profiles of offline shoppers in the malls, in the department stores, in the fashion locations we are working. We are working with more than 80 mall and retail chains in more than or in 16 countries at the moment. When talking about India, we have captured since November last year around about 15 million user profiles, having been installed so far only in 3 locations, only in Delhi, but quite optimistic to launch further locations, gain further partners, and therefore also gain further insights, especially also for the Indian markets. And in the end, I realize you can't read it, but I just wanted to finish by saying, okay, we've got 3 kinds of services. The first one is answers to understand, and then based on that, target ad and interactions to get in touch with your audience, with your consumers. Target ad in an anonymized way, so without knowing whether it's Jack Mohan, Rajan, Alex, and in interactions you exactly know whom you are talking to. So thanks for your for listening, and especially after the lunch break. So being that many in that room, we have got a booth out there. Also, my tremendous and fabulous Indian team here, and also have a little short article in today's launch shopping center news. So happy to talk, happy that you read, and also looking forward to the panel going to participate in now.
Thank you very much, and a warm round of applause for Mr. Alexander Köth.